Ladies and gentlemen, life is full of opportunities, but it's also full of challenges. Every day we are presented with situations that test our character, our patience, and our resolve. But let me tell you something very important. How you respond to life's challenges will determine the quality of your life. It's easy to fall into the trap of reacting when someone hurts you, when they say something unkind, or when they treat you in a way that feels unfair. Our natural instinct is to fight back, to defend ourselves, to prove we are right. But what if I told you that the best way to win in life is often not to react at all? You see, reacting is a form of giving away your power. When someone hurts you, the moment you react, you're letting them control your emotions, your energy, and your peace of mind. It's like giving them the keys to your happiness. And the truth is, nobody deserves that power over you. In those moments, remember, it's not what happens to you that matters, it's how you choose to respond. Life will always test you with challenges. People will criticize you, they will disappoint you in life, and they may even hurt you. But what you do in those moments shapes your future. Instead of reacting, take a step back, pause, reflect, choose your response carefully. The greatest victories often come from not engaging in conflict. The stronger your ability to remain calm and centered, the greater your ability to move forward with clarity and purpose. When someone hurts you, they are revealing more about themselves than they are about you. Don't internalize their negativity. Don't take it personally. Understand that hurt people, and those who lash out are often dealing with their own struggles, insecurities, and pain. Life is an unpredictable journey full of both opportunities and obstacles. Each day we are confronted with challenges that test our resilience, patience, and understanding of ourselves. Whether it's a personal setback, a misunderstanding with a loved one, or a difficult situation at work, life constantly presents situations that push us to our limits. Some challenges are small, others are monumental, but all of them hold the potential for growth if we handle them with the right perspective. It's important to realize that challenges are a natural part of life. No one is exempt from facing difficult circumstances. However, what distinguishes those who thrive from those who struggle is their ability to handle adversity with grace and composure. It's easy to wish for a life without challenges, but the truth is that the difficulties we face shape who we are. They test our ability to remain calm under pressure, to make thoughtful decisions in times of uncertainty, and to persevere when the going gets tough. When we encounter obstacles, we have two choices. We can react impulsively, allowing our emotions to control our responses, or we can choose to reflect, gather our thoughts, and approach the situation with a clear mind. The key to overcoming life's challenges isn't in avoiding them, but in learning how to deal with them constructively. By recognizing that challenges are inevitable and necessary for personal development, we free ourselves from the fear of failure and open ourselves up to growth. Each challenge, no matter how difficult, is an opportunity to strengthen our character, expand our capabilities, and discover new aspects of who we are. When we react to someone's hurtful actions, we inadvertently hand over control of our emotions and peace of mind. In those moments of frustration or anger, we may feel compelled to respond immediately, whether through words or actions, in an attempt to defend ourselves, prove a point, or seek justice. However, this reaction often comes at a cost, as it allows the other person's behavior to dictate our emotional state. The truth is, by reacting, we give them power over our feelings, our focus, and ultimately our well-being. This impulse to react can be an automatic response, ingrained in us over time as a way to protect ourselves. But in doing so, we often let our emotions take the wheel, driving us into unnecessary conflict, regret, or deeper hurt. Reacting doesn't solve the problem, it often escalates it. When we respond impulsively, we risk saying or doing things that we might later regret, and we perpetuate the cycle of negativity. In contrast, when we choose not to react, we retain our control. We decide how to respond thoughtfully without being ruled by anger or frustration. This allows us to maintain our peace rather than allowing someone else's actions to disrupt it. It's about reclaiming our personal power and recognizing that no one else should have the ability to upset us unless we allow it. Instead of reacting, we can choose to pause, think, and decide what's truly best for us in the moment, rather than acting out of an emotional impulse. By doing so, we create space for a more measured, constructive response that ultimately serves our peace and long-term happiness. It's easy to get caught up in the events and circumstances that unfold around us, but it's crucial to understand that what truly shapes our lives is not the external events themselves, but how we choose to respond to them. Life doesn't always go as planned, and people won't always treat us the way we expect or hope. Yet, the key to maintaining control over our life's direction lies in our responses. Each time we encounter a challenge or a hurtful situation, we are faced with the decision: how will we respond? The way we choose to respond determines not only the immediate outcome of the situation, but also the long-term effect on our emotional and mental well-being. It's not the event that causes us the most pain or distress, but the way we allow ourselves to react to it. If we react impulsively out of frustration or anger, we may cause unnecessary conflict or damage relationships. We may even regret our actions later, wishing we had handled things differently. On the other hand, if we take the time to reflect, breathe, and choose our response with thoughtfulness, we can turn challenges into opportunities for growth. Our responses define who we are. They reflect our values, our emotional intelligence, and our level of self-mastery. When we respond with patience, empathy, and understanding, we not only strengthen our own character, but also create a positive environment for others around us. The most powerful people are those who can remain calm and centered amidst chaos, who can choose to respond with wisdom rather than reacting impulsively. The way we respond to life's challenges is a true measure of our strength, and it's what determines whether we rise above the situation or let it control us. In life, when we're faced with a difficult situation, our first instinct is often to react immediately. We might feel hurt, angry, or misunderstood, and in those moments, the urge to speak, to defend ourselves, or to confront the issue head-on can feel overwhelming. However, this impulse to react can be counterproductive. Instead of solving the problem, reacting without reflection often makes things worse, escalating conflict and adding to our emotional turmoil. This is why it's essential to take a moment to pause before responding. When we pause, we give ourselves the space to breathe and gain clarity. In this brief moment, we can step away from the situation, calm our emotions, and consider the consequences of our actions. Rather than letting our immediate feelings dictate our response, we can decide how to handle the situation in a way that aligns with our values and goals. This pause allows us to choose the response that serves us best, whether that means saying nothing at all, expressing ourselves calmly, or finding a solution to the problem. Taking a pause doesn't mean avoiding or ignoring the issue, it simply means giving ourselves the time to respond thoughtfully. The ability to reflect before reacting is a sign of emotional maturity and self-control. It allows us to assess the situation more clearly and avoid knee-jerk reactions that may lead to regret or unnecessary tension. This moment of pause helps us maintain our dignity, protect our peace, and ensure that our actions are in line with our long-term objectives rather than temporary emotional impulses. In the end, this practice of pausing not only helps us handle challenges more effectively, but also builds our emotional resilience and strength over time. When someone hurts us, whether through words, actions, or negligence, it's easy to take it personally. We might internalize their behavior, thinking it's a reflection of our worth or something we deserve. But the reality is, their hurtful actions are often more about them than they are about us. Hurt people, this phrase speaks to the idea that individuals who lash out are often dealing with their own inner pain, frustrations, or unresolved issues. When someone behaves in a way that causes harm, it's frequently a reflection of their own emotional struggles, insecurities, or challenges, not an accurate judgment of who we are. People often act out of a need to protect themselves, to project their feelings of anger or fear onto others, or simply because they've learned unhealthy ways of dealing with their own emotions. Their words or actions are more about their personal battles than a direct attack on us. Recognizing this allows us to detach from the hurt and not let their negativity define us. When we understand this, we free ourselves from the emotional weight of taking their behavior personally. We can choose to view their hurtful actions with compassion and understanding, rather than resentment or defensiveness. This doesn't mean we tolerate or accept mistreatment, but it helps us avoid the trap of internalizing someone else's pain and projecting it onto ourselves. By remembering that hurt people are often acting out of their own unresolved issues, we can maintain our emotional distance and choose not to let their negativity affect us. We can respond with empathy, understanding that their actions are a reflection of their own struggles, not a reflection of our value or who we are. This perspective empowers us to protect our own peace, rise above the negativity, and avoid letting others' pain control our emotions. When someone hurts us, it can be easy to believe that their words or actions define us in some way. We might feel that their criticism, rejection, or unkind behavior is a reflection of who we are as people. But the truth is, the behavior of others says more about them than it does about us. When people lash out or treat us poorly, it's often a reflection of their own inner struggles, insecurities, or unresolved issues. It has little to do with us as individuals and everything to do with their personal battles. No matter how harsh someone's words may be, we should remind ourselves that their opinions are based on their own perceptions, which are shaped by their life experiences, emotions, and struggles. Just because someone says something negative about us doesn't mean it's true. In fact, it's often a projection of their own fears, frustrations, or feelings of inadequacy. When we internalize their negativity, we allow their distorted perception of us to become our truth, which is neither healthy nor productive. When we choose not to internalize others' negativity, we maintain our sense of self-worth. We remind ourselves that our value is not determined by others' opinions or behavior. We are not defined by the hurtful things people say, or do we define ourselves through our own actions, beliefs, and self-respect. This awareness helps us build emotional resilience and protect our inner peace. It allows us to remain grounded in our own sense of who we are, rather than being swayed by others' judgments or negativity. By not internalizing others' actions, we prevent their pain from affecting our happiness and peace of mind. We preserve our emotional energy and protect ourselves from unnecessary suffering, choosing instead to focus on our own growth and well-being. Our happiness and sense of self are not determined by the actions of others. Too often we allow the words, opinions, or behavior of people around us to dictate how we feel about ourselves. We look for validation from others or seek approval, thinking that our worth is tied to how others perceive us. However, this is a dangerous mindset because it places our emotional well-being in the hands of others. The truth is, we are the ones who define our own happiness and value. Our worth isn't tied to someone else's judgment or actions. When we let others define our sense of self, we give away our power. This makes us vulnerable to their moods, opinions, and treatment, leading to emotional ups and downs based on external circumstances. However, when we understand that we are the only ones responsible for our happiness, we regain control over our emotions. We realize that no one else has the power to make us feel inferior unless we allow it. By defining our own happiness, we choose to focus on what truly matters: our personal growth, our values, and our sense of purpose. We stop seeking external approval and instead cultivate internal validation, knowing that our worth doesn't depend on how others see us. We can choose to respond to situations with confidence and self-assurance rather than seeking constant reassurance from others. This shift in mindset empowers us to live more authentically and with greater peace of mind. When we understand that our happiness is in our hands, we stop allowing the actions or opinions of others to dictate how we feel. We build resilience against negativity and criticism, and instead create a life that is centered around our own values, beliefs, and sense of purpose. Ultimately, we take ownership of our emotional state and embrace the freedom that comes with self-definition. In the face of conflict or difficulty, our first instinct may be to engage, defend ourselves, or try to fix the situation. We may feel the need to prove a point or assert our position. However, choosing grace over conflict is often a far more powerful response. When we choose not to engage in immediate conflict, we give ourselves the opportunity to step back and approach the situation with a clear and thoughtful mind. Instead of reacting impulsively, we allow ourselves the time and space to reflect on how best to handle the situation in a way that aligns with our values and preserves our peace. Engaging in conflict can often escalate the issue, creating more tension and negativity, which can harm relationships and our own emotional well-being. By choosing grace, whether through patience, understanding, or simply staying silent, we maintain our dignity and prevent the situation from getting worse. Grace doesn't mean passivity, it means responding with thoughtfulness, kindness, and emotional control, even when faced with negativity or aggression. When we respond with grace, we signal to others that we are not interested in contributing to the conflict or negativity. Instead, we choose to protect our own peace and approach the situation from a place of calm and respect. This response has a far greater chance of diffusing tension and bringing the conversation to a more productive, constructive place. It allows us to remain in control of our emotions and prevents us from being swept away by the heat of the moment. Choosing grace over conflict also reflects emotional maturity. It shows that we are capable of maintaining composure, making wise decisions under pressure, and not letting anger or frustration cloud our judgment. Ultimately, this choice allows us to navigate life's challenges with a sense of poise and confidence, knowing that we can rise above conflict rather than be consumed by it. Forgiveness is often misunderstood as something we do for others, but in reality, forgiveness is a gift we give ourselves. When we forgive, it's not about excusing someone else's behavior or saying that what they did was acceptable. Rather, forgiveness is about releasing the burden of anger, resentment, and hurt that we carry inside. Holding on to negative emotions like these doesn't affect the person who hurt us, it only harms us by weighing us down with emotional pain and bitterness. By choosing to forgive, we free ourselves from that burden and reclaim our peace of mind. Forgiveness is a process, and it's not always easy. It may take time, reflection, and sometimes even a change in perspective to truly let go of the hurt. But when we choose to forgive, we stop letting the actions of others control our emotional state. We stop letting the past dictate how we feel in the present. It doesn't mean that we have to forget the offense or allow the person back into our lives in the same way. Forgiveness is about letting go of the negative emotional hold that the offense has on us, allowing us to move forward with a sense of freedom and emotional healing. When we forgive, we also demonstrate strength and emotional maturity. It takes far more strength to let go of anger than to hold on to it. Forgiveness allows us to focus on the present and future rather than being stuck in the past. It opens the door to emotional growth and healing, enabling us to build healthier relationships with others and, most importantly, with ourselves. By forgiving, we choose to protect our peace, our happiness, and our mental well-being, creating space for greater joy and fulfillment in our lives. In life, we often encounter situations that are beyond our control, whether it's the behavior of others, external circumstances, or unpredictable events. Focusing on what we can control is a powerful way to maintain our peace and keep moving forward, regardless of the chaos happening around us. There will always be things in life that are outside of our influence, but what we can control is how we respond to those things and the mindset we choose to adopt. One of the most important things we have control over is our own thoughts. While we cannot always control what happens to us, we have the ability to control how we think about those events. Our mindset determines whether we approach a challenge with fear and frustration or with calm and determination. By choosing to control our thoughts, we empower ourselves to respond in a way that serves our best interests. This mindset shift can turn obstacles into opportunities and transform challenges into growth experiences. Similarly, we have control over our actions. No matter what's happening around us, we can choose how we behave, how we interact with others, and how we contribute to situations. When we focus on taking positive, constructive actions, we stop feeling helpless or at the mercy of circumstances. We recognize that we are responsible for our own progress and we can take the necessary steps to move forward, even in difficult times. Additionally, we can control how we manage our emotions. By learning to regulate our reactions and remain calm in the face of adversity, we protect our emotional well-being and avoid being swept away by negative feelings. Instead of allowing external forces to dictate our mood, we take responsibility for how we feel and create space for peace and clarity in our lives. Focusing on what we can control allows us to navigate life's challenges with confidence and resilience. Remember, you are not defined by the words or actions of others. You define yourself through your choices, your actions, and your mindset. So choose to respond with grace. Choose to remain silent when anger calls your name. Choose to forgive, not because they deserve it, but because you deserve peace. I'll leave you with this thought: life is too short to waste your energy reacting to the negativity of others. Focus on what you can control: your own thoughts, your own actions, and your own happiness. When you stop reacting to others, you unlock a world of possibilities. Thank you.